This is a video to show how the router table gets set up here at Redmond Makers. We are lucky enough to have a sauce top with a cast iron base and a cast iron router tabletop attachment. The first thing we're going to show is the tools that are needed to set up the router. The first is this Allen wrench to raise and lower the height of the router. It's attached to these magnets right here. The second is this 15/16 wrench to lock the bit in place. And the third, always attached with magnets, is this torque key for the red plate insert that goes into the actual table. The first thing we're gonna do is to take the torque key, and it says right here, but it's hard to see. We're gonna go in clockwise direction and remove the insert. Then we place the Allen wrench into the locking mechanism. Make sure that from locked is anywhere on the side where it says unlocked. And then we can actually put the Allen wrench in the height gauge and raise, going clockwise, the router until the height that we want. This key is gonna lock into a small hole right here. So that's a locking mechanism. We align it, make sure that we get a tight fit right there, and start hand tightening the bit into the router. This is a 3/8 of an inch cove bit. Any bits that have a 1/4 inch shaft will fit in here. Then I take my 15/16 wrench and go clockwise to tighten it. After I'm done here, I can bring the table down, the router in the table down, going clockwise, going counterclockwise, and place the insert back on, and using the key that just fell, using the torque key, I can go tighten it by going counterclockwise. When I have the right height of the bit that I want to use, I put the Allen wrench in the locking mechanism, lock it right in place so that I know it's not going to move on me when I start using it. The next step that I'm going to set up is the fence. I can align it wherever I want and lock it in place using these two bolts. The nice thing about the router table is that it doesn't have to be perfectly perpendicular to the table, because as long as I run something on the fence, even at an angle like this, it's gonna come out straight from the router bit. Next step is power. The power is already attached to the table. The router just needs to be plugged in into an extension cord and turned on right here by pulling the plug. And final step is dust collection, which is inside this box right here. You can open and check if there's any dust in here. Everything is already set up. You can just keep it closed and don't have to touch anything. The actual dust collection hose is gonna be in the back of the box, and I can remove this flex hose from our main dust collection and plug it in the back right here. Right here. So that's all there is to it. Dust collection, power, setting up the bit, and setting up the fence. You're ready to use the router table. The last thing to remember is the bit spins counterclockwise, so you always want to push your workpiece from right to left. If you push it from left to right, the bit is going to grab the piece and bring it with it, and it's going to ruin your piece. So always make sure you press your piece against the fence and go from right to left.